Either way, it's fine.
Okay. Well, thanks for doing this.
Sure. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for coming on conversation.
Okay. I confess I don't really know very much about your politics or your site. I briefly looked through and it didn't seem to be anything about, I don't know, porn or
Oh,
any.
it's mostly about just the individual. It's more just about a conversation. So I've interviewed porn stars and comedians and actors, people in film, people just everyday people. So it's kind of more about that. I saw you work with Penthouse.
Sure.
I was just curious what your experience with that was like.
Um, well, I have some mixed emotions about that. I was really, really flattered to be chosen. I mean, there are 12 girls in the entire world chosen each month to be in it, and to be one of those girls was is very flattering. Um, and even more so since they kind of prejudice against porn stars.
Yeah.
They prefer them not to have any kind of, and they would prefer them to be like, completely unknown to anyone. So that was really, really great. Um, the parts that I didn't like so much was the shooting, but I mean, it kind of goes with the territory with whatever you're shooting. If you're a model or actress, even if you're a stage actress, you have to deal with whatever it is that's going on. I mean, I know the second day of shooting, it was absolutely freezing cold, and they were just spraying like a little water bottle, just spray of water over me with this light breeze, and it's cold outside. And so I don't know if you could see, but they couldn't get totally close to me because they could see how big my goosebumps
Right. I
were.
was gonna say, are they trying to just get you goosebumps? It's like,
They weren't trying to, but there were, that's just, that's what they had to do. And, you know, uh, me being I come from a theater stage
nice.
background. Um, so you do what you're told. The show goes on no matter what, and you make it work. Um, of course, on stage, you don't have too many options because, you know, you can't stop and change angles or anything like that. But that's my background, so I, that's my, I don't know, philosophy
Your
or
training.
mentality. Yeah. So, I mean, I remember being at one point, um, maybe it was also for Playboy, for adult stars up close. There's this there's this house that we would rent for different shows on top of one of the hills in Malibu, which Malibu is always really cold.
Right.
But on on a huge top of a hill, it's even colder
Right.
on a cold day, on a like semi almost stormy day, and towards sunset, it it was freezing. And there I don't know, the house owners had this, I don't know, sort of decorative like Greek columns in this like you know um C shape, like the letter C shape.
Yeah.
Um and they're like a story high, these columns, and about, I don't know, maybe 2 feet, um 2 feet uh uh, of concrete connecting them together. And they wanted us to crawl up on top there
Jeez.
and have me hanging off, like as far off as possible, and in the eh, while freezing to death, by the way. The I remember there was a sound guy there, and he was like, "Fuck no, I'm not doing." He's
Really?
like, "Hell no," because it was dangerous
Right.
and scary.
How tall do you think how high up do you think you were from the ground of wherever?
Oh God, at least 30, 40 feet.
Wait, so they wanted you to hang off of a 30 to 40 feet tall thing, and then
Yeah,
did they have any, like, safety
no, 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 no.
what the
I didn't have any kind of
and
stuff like
and they
that.
wanted you probably to sign a release so they're not liable for
Um,
anything?
with porn, with very few exceptions, everyone gets the exact same model release
Right.
form. And
Crazy.
I don't really remember if it covers any, personal damage. I doubt it.
No, that's
But
just to you just that just gives them permission to show your shit or use it,
yeah,
not your well-being, not your health or safety.
they don't
Yeah,
care. They really don't. I mean, and they're like, hang over more, more. I'm like, I'm gonna fall if I do, you know.
right.
Anyway,
Just go ahead. Are you scared
and
shitless at this point? Like, "Oh my god," like
well, yeah, I was scared, and I was just like, I couldn't stop hardly shaking.
I'm
I'm like,
sure.
I'm trying not to shake, but
Right.
they're like, it's cool, it looks hot.
It's
I'm
cool, it
like,
looks hot. You're like, "Alright,
yeah,
great."
right. Maybe that was the adult stars up close, but the penthouse one definitely was the it was by a pool, and it was just like, oh my God, it was, I don't know, a minimum 14-hour shoot.
Jeez.
And I think I got a uh, 15, maybe 20 maximum minute break that whole day. And that was only because I begged him. I was like, I really, really have to
I
pee.
was gonna
I
say
I didn't have to pee. I was just so frozen
right,
that I wanted to put my feet in the sink with the hot water because it was just, I was so cold.
right.
And it was the same when I was up in Malibu. I mean, when I got into, like, a hot shower afterwards, and my lips were, like, crunchy. It was like
Oh my gosh.
there I was so
I
cold,
mean, really, they
you know?
coulda given you that coulda you coulda got hyperthermia.
Oh, well,
Mhm.
I mean, that's not even the worst thing that's ever happened to me. So, it just that's just how, you know,
Right.
how it goes.
That's a
They
that's your sacrifice to the industry.
Yeah, well, the industry, I don't know. I think that once upon a time, they probably cared a lot more, but as time went on, they cared less and less and less
Right,
until, you know, until they cared almost next to nothing, which is where they're at now.
right.
Yeah.
We're, so how did you get into, like, the adult industry? How did you get into what you're doing?
I, God, this is, being in the industry would have been the very furthest thing that anyone, myself included, would have thought that I would be doing. Um, it was completely a thing of chance. Um, my mom was, well, my dad died when I was 3.
I'm sorry.
I didn't really have family. Um, and my mom was a bit of a crazy person. Um, she's dead now too, but at the time she wasn't, and I was not 18 yet. And I was living with her, going to school, and um she just didn't come home one day. Just became a missing person, and so I didn't know what to do. Um, I had planned on transferring to a 4-year. I was already in junior college before I was 18. Uh, uh, I got a theater degree there.
Nice.
Um, but but I was planning on transferring to a 4-year, but I couldn't do that because I didn't have a parent to sign the paperwork. So you know, my grandparents they're like, "You should come up to Oregon and stay with us," but they were in this, like, Oregon, I mean, and they were in the middle of nowhere of Oregon, so it was like 45 minutes just to drive, to get, like, I don't know, 15 hours work at a retail store. I was, like, the only person under 60 in the town. It was miserable, and it didn't rain 2 of the days that I was there.
Yeah,
So, I was miserable, and so I came back down, and, I stayed with, I got moved in with 3 other girls who had an apartment, and the only job that was full-time with benefits was an adult bookstore.
ah, okay.
They actually didn't hire me. They thought I was too shy, and I was totally freaked out when I walked in the store. I was like, "Oh my god," you know?
Right.
Um, I
You
I
had
had
never
no
did you ever watch porn before that or even
I'd never even seen anything,
Huh.
not a box cover, not a picture, nothing.
When,
So,
w
I'm, like, looking at the box covers, I'm like, "Wow, they're giving away the whole
right.
plot."
What's the story? Oh,
But at the same time, okay, well, they did end up having to hire me because the person they hired didn't show up. So, it was, the very last minute, and I was the one they were able to get hold of. So I ended up working there. I was working graveyard shift,
oh my god.
um, catalog. They were doing their filing system or whatever. So I got real acquainted with all the titles and the categories and the stars and stuff like that. And I wanted to do modeling and stuff like that, but I'm short, and you know I'm from Northern California,
Oh,
so
okay.
there was no possibility for anything like that,
What, where
Um,
you from? Like, you where you from north?
a little town called French Count.
Okay.
Um, you pass 3 herds of cows to get to my high
Oh,
school,
okay.
that kinda place.
Right.
So, yeah, it was nowhere, and, and so I'm working at this store, and, in Stockton, and, and, some of these feature films, I would see the models, and they look like fashion models. They look beautiful and everything, and I'm like, and then I watch some of these things, I'm like, I could do better than
Right.
that, and everything.
When,
Like these
when was this? Like in the 80s or 90s?
90s.
Okay.
I was in elementary school in the 80s.
Okay. Sorry.
So, um, but, uh but yeah, so I kinda got interested, and, I had, a couple of crushes on certain actresses and actors, and, got sent to com a couple of the conferences
Wow.
for the company. It was like a chain store that I worked at. So they were big enough to send some of us to some conferences. So I met some people there, and I had planned on moving down to LA, um and I did, but I had a few things lined up with a couple of people I met there. Plus, I was smart enough to know that there's this thing called the Adams Film World Guide that has the phone numbers, addresses, contact names for every
Oh,
company out
I
there.
think I heard about that,
And
yeah.
yeah, it comes out once a year, and it's got everything you need. You don't need an agent, if you don't want one, and you could just call them up yourself, and that's what I did. I was super, I don't know, insecure,
Yeah.
I guess. So I went for the Gonzo movies first
Oh,
and
gee.
everything.
What's the hardcore stuff, huh?
Yeah, well, it also helped me get really popular really fast because I knew which gonzo companies were doing really well, like, you know, Evil
Right.
Angel and, you know, Anabolic and, Seymour Butts. I knew all the gonzo companies that were, you know, like the stars of the charts. And and it didn't take too long after that people realized cuz me going to the companies, they'd take your picture, you'd write down, oh, special skills or whatever, like acting, which is not normal for girls
You're like,
in that industry.
I can actually act though. Like I know what scripts are and I know how to do my lines and if there's any. Nice.
Oh, yeah, yeah, it was torture to watch some girls. I mean, they'd have one line, and it'd be, like, 6 takes, and then finally, they'd cut the line because the girl just couldn't go. She just couldn't say it. I'm just like, "Jesus Christ, one fucking line,"
Yeah.
you know? A and so, yeah. Anyway, but, so they liked that I could act, and so then I started getting feature films and stuff like that. Um, and I was already known. Unfortunately, the the some of the bigger companies like Jenna Jameson,
She took over a
she
Penthouse,
would've
right?
she would've, well, yeah, at the very end. Um, she would've put me under contract, I guess, but she assumed that I already was under contract. I mean, there were a lot of misconceptions about me. I mean, Jill Kelly didn't even think I spoke English. I was on her set and she's like, "Wow, you speak English?" I'm like, "Yeah." And like perfect English. I'm like, "Yeah, duh, I'm from California." You know?
Huh.
I don't know. There's even today I can look up myself and see all kinds of misinformation. I don't know where they get it from, but you know,
Well,
it's
if you see old when if you read old porn mags and you read the interviews, sometimes you got to ask, okay, did they just like take the name and then just make up this whole? Because it just seems so whatever. They didn't put any. It's not legit. It's just filler. Because it's
well, very occasionally, not very often, but a few times I know they just completely made up like a whole interview and
right,
none of it was real. But most of the time it was a real interview. I'm talking about like a biography kind of thing
right. It's just
that
like it seems
that,
kind of silly the way they'd write it up.
that they'd write that I was, from this place or I did that or this was my name or whatever, and it was completely wrong, and I don't know where they got it from. They got mixed up or whatever, and then one company would copy it. It was obvious one company would be lazy and they copy it from somewhere else, and so it would be like on 12 different sites before you knew
Right.
it. Just
Did
misinformation, whatever.
did they take stuff and then re-edit it like other companies would take shit and then re-edit it for their own? Does that ever happen? Because it seems like that happens
Oh, yes.
sometimes.
Well, unfortunately, with the model release form, you basically are signing away all your rights.
Right.
So, I mean, I tried to. I tried to write in things, before I signed it, um, for a long time in the beginning, but I quickly found out they just don't give a fuck, really. I
Right.
mean,
They didn't
they
they,
they'll
they copy wrote
they'll
they started to actually take legal action, people in the late '90s regarding copywriting and, taking people's images because there wasn't any. They would in the '80s, like, you'd see all these, or even in the '70s, you'd see all these, parodied pornos or movies, and, it would be like, just taking from an actual movie or a civilian movie, and then, so it's like, they've always been on that shit where they just like, "It's porn, who cares?" and do what we want. The people started to actually take legal action in the '90s. You can't really do that, I don't think, anymore the way you used to.
I don't mind that. I mean, it's just that uh they'll take stuff that was made for this
Right.
film and they'll chop it up and then they'll make another film out of it and they'll call it
Right,
something
exactly.
somebody's retarded name or
It
whatever,
right.
which is something I never wanted. Like, I turned down movies because they had some stupid ass name, or whatever. I don't know. I wanted to be taken a little more seriously.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a ridiculous, genre of entertainment, like, when it comes to that shit.
yeah, well, I don't know. They screwed me over quite a few times and I tried to take them to court.
Wow.
I was in the right, but I was told by my lawyer that, okay, this company has more money and lawyers that there's no way that you're gonna win.
Right,
So, I mean, we can keep fighting, but they're just gonna keep uh money at lawyers
right,
and you're gonna lose eventually because you don't have more money than they do because they're this huge company,
right.
you know?
Money's power.
And absolutely. So, and that's, I mean, it was part of why I stopped doing films because I was so disheartened by, you know, the way that I was treated, and that they just could get away with, certain things. I always protected myself uh, with everything that I could, but, you know, with the law and stuff, they can make it whatever they want and stuff. So,
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, hey, Ava, I have to do another interview. I definitely would like to, because you have I try to explain to you, everybody's got an interesting story. You definitely got a lot of great stuff to say. And if it's okay, I would like to bring you on again and talk more about this, because I think it's interesting. I don't encourage that, how they treated you. I do think it's interesting because it's such a powerful industry that it amazes me people still get shit on when you should be treated fairly. To what you apply, you should get repaid and protected. And it just FYI, I don't know currently what you're doing or whatever, but I discovered, was it last year, year before, there's a union for adult actresses.
Is there?
Yeah, and I'm like, finally, it's like any other thing, there should be a SAG-AFTRA for porn stars. No
That
matter what you do.
is
I'll get that name for you if I can find it, and then I'll send you it, and then you can research the shit and see how legitimate it is, and if it even is, worth even dealing with. But I just feel, at least I could tell you that much, because That's just garbage. And I know I've seen, you watch the biographies on porn stars and the direct, and it's just like it's always this. It's always like everybody all the actors get shit on. Like they get treated like you're just disposable um robots, or whatever. Just whatever do we say and get the fuck out of here. Maybe we'll pay you. I don't know. What are you gonna do about it? Kind of thing. And so
Yeah, yeah.
so Ava, thank you so much. And I have one more question. You did say you asked, so I have another podcast where it's like it's a fake radio show, and I get people I get people to come on to voice callers and characters. And
Uh-huh.
I have one that I think you might like to play, but I'll message you information about it, and you can tell me now, or what you think. But I definitely think I'd like to cast you to play the main character's girlfriend. And
Okay.
it's only literally it's only usually a half-hour process.
Mhm.
So it's like this, but no camera.
Okay.
And so I'll send you more information. But listening to you, I was like, yeah, you could totally do this, and you have experience acting, so that works out perfectly. And yeah, I thank you so much. I think you're great, and I appreciate you seriously doing this. And you're interesting. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Take care. You have a beautiful day, and I hope it's nice where you're at. Mwah. Take care and be safe. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.